Rundown December 2nd. K Marco is in the house. Again, KFC, he says he's out. He doesn't give reasons. I think it's just assumed it's baby stuff. But for all I know, he's just fucking picking his dick. So who knows? Zuckerberg, this is a big story. Donated 99% of his shares, or he's going to, over the course of his lifetime, for his baby, who's named Max, which is the worst girl's name. Like, I retract that. I don't hate it. I just thought about calling a girl a hot girl Max, and I don't hate it. Anyways, I hate this move. I already said it. Like, stupid. Someone tweeted at me, his family could rule the world for the next 1,000 years. And it's just he got caught up in the moment of you have a kid, oh, you want your kid. The kid's probably going to hate this move. He wants the money. He still has $500 million, but if you can't buy a sports team, and it parlayed into what's really rich nowadays, you got to be able to buy a sports team. Like, if you could buy a sports team and you had enough money at one point, you can never go below that level. That's the cutoff. What do we got on Zuckerberg in this move, Big Cat?
It's just he's a squid. He's a really, really smart one who made a lot of money, but he never had the cutthroat business side to him. He's not, I mean, wasn't it Justin Timberlake who made him the billions and was like, who cut out the Eduardo Saverin guy?
But didn't, according to that movie, he stole the idea and he did like Hut or Not and all that. At that point, he looked like he was kind of, he stole the business.
About it. He was kind of squirrely about it. He just like stopped responding to the Winklevoss's emails and basically made Facebook on the side and was like, oh, I have Facebook now. He's not like cutthroat. And that's what these type of guys do. When they get rich, they just give it away because someone's like, oh, you should do this. It's really nice. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, here's all my money. So, no, I wouldn't. I'd give some money away. I mean, you got to give something. But to give all of it is a fucking stupid move.
Okay, Marco?
Yeah, exactly. It's 99% is such a dickhead number. Like, 45 billion. You can't give, like, 50% or 60%. Just putting that number on it makes it seem like, oh, look at me. I'm giving everything I have to charity. It makes the rest of us look horrible that don't want to give to charity, want to keep our own money. He's done this before too. He gave $100 million to Newark to like help their schools and like thought he was this great guy for it. And it blew up in his face and everyone fucking hated him because the money didn't go to the right place and it was like this huge disaster.
The only thing you can do with that money, which I'd be like, you know what, that's good. You got to go buy these Middle Eastern countries, although I guess you can't afford that because they have the oil, and you got to build like schools and stuff and tell them to stop killing everybody. Like, did you watch Homeland? What?
World peace right there.
Yeah, like Homeland. I don't know if you guys watch. You probably don't, Big Cat. You're not a big TV guy. Do you watch it, Kim Marco? You probably do.
Yeah.
You know when Quinn, before he was getting beat up every 2 seconds, they're like, how do we solve this? He's like, well, you got to build schools, this, that. That's really the only way to stop ISIS. If Zuckerberg wants to go hero, go do that. Otherwise, this is bullshit. And the kid, by the way, the kid is not going to like this. Kids always are opposite of the parents. This kid, just because you have a kid, I'm jumping all over the place.
You're crazy right now. This is like last night when I had to pick you up, and I'm going to have to pick you up again.
What were you doing last night? I asked Feidelberg. I couldn't even follow what you... I thought you got hacked, actually. I'm like, someone got
I was just retweeting the praise that I got for the rundown. Everyone was saying I did a great job, so I just thought
I understood that, but then you just started talking about all sorts of, like, weird stuff. It was strange. It almost was like I thought you got hacked.
No, I wasn't hacked. I was picking up my boss when he's down. Look at it. Anyone who watches the first 5 minutes of this rundown will be like, Dave's losing it. Like that, you just said 10 billion things.
I have a lot on my mind.
You said ISIS. Like, you're all over the place. Dude, listen, I know what you're saying. Like, if you build a school, maybe we could have some better, the countries will be built up. But if you fucking teach the kids in wherever algebra, it's not like they're going to stop wanting to blow us up. ISIS wants to blow us up no matter what.
No, but if you get them early, you got to get these kids early.
Wait. Was your plan for fixing the Mideast to have Mark Zuckerberg buy the Middle East and build schools on it?
He wants Mark Zuckerberg to buy everyone like Apple computer, and then we're done.
Well, I mean, K. Marco, you kind of simplified what I said because I don't know.
Enough?
I don't know. Like, I think these sheiks in Dubai and shit, they have a ton of money. So I don't even know that Zuckerberg could. I don't think Zuckerberg's like a poor you know, the blog I wrote about poor people? I think he's Middle East poor.
Dave, when you wrote that blog, did you know the news about Bill Simmons buying the
No, that was just
$7 million?
crazy-ass timing. That was a slap in the face. I saw the Simmons face, you know, when you see pictures of what people are blogging. So I saw it in there. I had no idea what it was about. And then it was a kick in the nuts that he bought like a $15 million Malibu. I'll tell you what, face-to-face, I guarantee you if we go to a casino or bet on a game, I'm still betting fucking he probably still bets Rico units. That's why he's a squid. Zuckerberg, last point. If you have an ugly wife and you make that much money, she's not ugly, she's not pretty, then you're fucked up in the head to begin with. And he married her after he had the money.
But does he even have like a dick?
That's a fair point.
I mean, like, do you think Mark Zuckerberg like jerks off?
They definitely don't have safe words. That's for
no.
damn
But he
sure.
like doesn't even jerk off. I bet you that guy's jerked off like 10 times in his life.
No, I bet he jerks off. Guys like that jerk off. He may not have a. He doesn't probably. Have
He's
great
not a
feet.
big. He's not a porn guy.
He may be a porn guy.
Ooh, he's an anime guy, if anything.
Yeah, I could see that too. And all right, where am I? Rich people.
Dave, are you on Adderall today?
No, my brain's firing. I love it.
The experiment?
It's not firing.
I don't think you need it.
I have this list of things I got to do. I have shit all over the place. I love it. It's when my brain's fast and furious and I get shit done. This is a distraction, this rundown. David Price. Oh, by the way, see my brain. You said those Richard Sherman shirts, the sweatshirts stink. They're awesome. Like you probably don't even know what play that's from. It's from the Super Bowl when Malcolm Butler got the interception. That's his face. I have the T-shirt. People love it. They try to rip it off my back, so I put it on sale. Well, we don't have all around printing, so I can't do that type of T-shirt. But I like the face anywhere. The results will speak for themselves. Dylan, put that T-shirt up, and I want a little graphic that says "awesome" on it. David Price.
Maybe some fireworks off of it too.
What did you guys think of the David Price signing? Does this make you a little nervous about our bet? And I'm hearing it was reported they're still going to go after the blonde guy from L.A. What's his name?
Zach Greinke.
Greinke. What do you think?
Who
said that?
What? What'd you say, Dave?
Nothing.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Red Sox had to do it. Like I said in the blog I wrote, first of all, shout out to the Cardinals for finishing second place. The Cardinals fans are going to lap that up. They were never close, and they pretended to be close, knowing they wouldn't get close because they knew the Red Sox had to pay the most money. So, and I'm sure Cardinals fans for the rest of David Price's entire contract will be like, we were so smart not getting him every time he has a bad outing. They had to pay. They were in a position where they had to pay the most money. I think it's a ridiculous contract, but like you said, it's not your money. It seems like the Red Sox owners don't have a budget, so why not? You had to get our starting pitcher. Your pitching sucks.
Agreed. Totally agree on every front. K. Marco.
Yeah, it's a great signing. It's 3 years, right? And then the opt-out thing happens.
He's not going to opt out. I'm sick of people saying that.
Well, is it 3 or 4? 3.
If he opts out, I'd be shocked. He would have to be 33 years old and another team to want to give him 5 years.
Yeah, it would mean he had a dominant 3 years, obviously.
Yeah, right.
The one thing that always is, and I'm happy, and I agree with you, and people are putting his postseason numbers and all that. I'm happy because we're spending money. It's not my money. And he has been very good the regular season. The David Price, David Ortiz dynamic is a little weird because, I mean, they do not like each other. David Ortiz
is out, but you have to
after one.
But Dave, you have to, if you're going to be consistent here and not talk out of both sides of your mouth, you have to say that David Price, his postseason makes you nervous, and
absolutely,
he's a bum in the postseason right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I there's no doubt about that.
Also, Dave, the element here, which I wrote in my blog as well, it all comes back to the Red Sox kind of fucking up the Lester thing. Because now they had to get someone.
Yeah,
they could have had Lester for cheaper than the Cubs got.
Yeah, and in my book, we should have them both if you can spend the money. I don't know what their budget is. I'd have a very different take if there was a salary cap or something like that,
Yeah.
but it's not. The one thing I will say, and I've always said this, to be like the GM of the Red Sox or something, or the Yankees, how hard of a job is that? It's like, let's just go give David Price the most money. I could have done that.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll end up seeing what happens because they obviously still need some. You still need to have the talent like in your farm system. We know that buying championships doesn't work, but I agree with you to an extent. Like they can just be like, all right, here's the biggest check. There you go.
Next up, this is real funny, and I know. I think everyone likes Belichick, except like the media. But Belichick's been on a roll with these press conferences lately. So Gronk is like getting paid, I guess, to announce his own injury report. So the Patriots and the Gronk family released this press release. He got asked about it today, and he's just like, "What? I can't be helpful."
Just to try to do everything we can to help you out. Sorry if you're offended by that. Just trying to be cooperative and help you out. So if that's a problem, just let me know. We did what we did. If you have any other questions, really you should take it up with our public relations department, which is very capably run by Stacy and his staff.
Like I can't help people, and this is coming off the heels of when they asked him what he thought when Gronk didn't get up and he murdered somebody with his eyes in a press conference. So can we all admit that the Belichick press conferences, what?
What's happening right now?
My dog is doing left, right with her face on the ground, like scratching her ground. Because Renee, she's just on vacation 24/7. And it's like, I make the money and she just goes spends it on vacation. And I brought Stella in because I feel bad. It's rainy, and I just try to contain her. But she had an itchy face. That was not bad. You guys want anything on Belichick?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah.
He's great. He's great. I mean, the guy just does not give a fuck. Like, Popovich is funny in these things, but he's also, like, self-aware about it, and he'll, like, pull you aside and, like, joke around and stuff. Belichick has literally never given a fuck at all or apologized for anything. It's just awesome to watch.
And I said this when I went out to dinner with him in Nantucket at the Pearl when there were no reservations, and we walked up and he just like they threw people out the window so we could have a table. And I sat next to him. I asked him about this. I said, "Do you get a kick out of like the press conference stuff when you don't give answers?" He literally didn't know what I was talking about. He's like, "I always cooperate. They have a job to do." He was dead serious.
He
that's
cooperates
the best
on the bare minimum, and that's exactly what his like job description says.
Yeah.
So you got to show up, answer X amount of questions. He answers them. You know that SNL skit where like the punchline's like, "Jane, you ignorant slut."
Yeah.
That is what Belichick looks like every single time he's in a press conference. He looks like he's on the edge of just being like, "You ignorant slut, shut the fuck up."
Holly Holm, this knockout. So 4 years to the day of her losing, Feidelberg had this. This should be the #1 viral video, like maybe of the year. I don't know if you guys watched this fight. What? Don't make that face, K. Marco. It was unbelievable. Holly, the referee lets this fight go on when she's dead. I mean, she's tangled in the ropes, getting punched in the face with no arms. He grabs her off the ropes, and then she just gets knocked out. It's unbelievable. Just, if all fights were like this, I would never sleep. I just watch fights 24/7. You're a fight guy. What, K. Marco?
That's true. It's an awesome video, but I also think this is why their boxing is dead now, because this is like the poster video for CTE and everyone dying. The ref like picked her up so that she could die more, like from these fucking haymakers.
It reminded me of like old school MMA when they just would let him fight forever. And remember when Butterbean used to box and
Yeah.
he'd just wail on people's brains until they were basically in a coma, and then he'd wail on them a little more, and then the ref would stop.
If you made a list of the top 100 things of the last century, Butterbean's on it.
Oh yeah.
Butterbean was like, came out of nowhere. Just a shooting star, really. One of the most American things there could ever happen.
I would actually contend that Butterbean and like LeBron James are on the same athletic like you look at them and you're like, that guy's athletic ability is so incredible and off the charts. Butterbean and LeBron James, same exact. Like every time you looked at him, how is this guy doing this? He's 1 billion pounds. He's lightning fast. He throws hammers. You're right. I wonder where Butterbean is right now.
It's a great follow-up. Even the name Butterbean is like the best name. He was born to be an American hero.
Yeah.
Commercial break. Next up, and I only put this on there because I have a bone to pick with you, K. Marco. This FSU flag football chick, she's awesome. It is a direct slap in my face and Wonder Girl Carly's face not to do some sort of shout out to the greatest female flag football player of all time. Wonder Girl Carly would put this girl in her back pocket and laugh. And how you didn't include that, for shame.
That's your thing. That's your thing. I don't want to steal your things.
It's not my thing. It's just a fact. Like she's the gold bearer.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, this girl's great. She is becoming a little too self-aware for me though. Like this is on ESPN and like all these celebrities are tweeting at her and she's retweeting them and like her whole Twitter feed is like jokes about how good she is. I liked it better last year when it was like under the radar. Like this is just a video we found of this girl. It's awesome. Now it's like her whole thing is like she's this fantasy football character. A little too much.
I'd lay her out if I was playing against her.
Well, I was gonna say two things with her. She's like Gino Auriemma, as far as I'm concerned. Like the people she's playing against suck. So play with the boys, and then let's see how good you are.
Wonder Girl Carly played with the boys.
Played with the boys. Two, are there like crowds at this? Because if those guys are not trying to fuck one of these girls, that's the lamest thing ever.
They're trying to fuck them.
Okay.
That's.
I think there's some guys there who are going and they're striking out. And that's like, pick a better way to spend your time in college than at a women's flag football game.
I used to like try to do that with like women's soccer. It never worked, but I wasn't there for like the game. It was just like I ended up just being a loser, wasting my time.
You guys think that you could tackle, or if it was flag, you think you could get this girl down?
Okay,
you could not, Dave. You could not.
I could not.
Shape, no.
Have you seen what I did at a actual professional? I fucking versus a pro. I demolished her. So I don't know what you're coming up with.
She didn't have these moves. Did you? This video,
she's a pro. The girl I went with, the pro is amateur. The next subject. NCAA playoffs. Again, college. The question, I guess, the most realistic question we have is if North Carolina beats Clemson, who goes? Is it North Carolina or Ohio State? What do you got? Because let's be honest, there's no way Alabama's losing to Florida. So Stanford's not in the discussion.
Yes, they are.
How?
Because it's pretty simple. Well, go ahead. You go, Keith, first, because you're the college football guy.
I think the most interesting is if UNC wins and Stanford loses, because USC could definitely beat Stanford. Because then it comes down to North Carolina or Ohio State. That's a better conversation. Stanford's definitely in the picture. If you look at their strength of schedule, they only have 2 losses.
Yep.
And if they're the conference champion, if they beat USC.
Give me a break. What are you guys, nuts?
Their 2 losses are against top 20 teams.
Did they lose to Northwestern?
Yeah, they're a top 20 team.
You can't lose to a Big Ten team and then have a 1-loss Big Ten team.
I'm telling you. But they've run through a pretty good schedule. If you look at their schedule, they've played a lot of good teams. The problem with
who?
They beat UCLA. They just beat Notre Dame.
I'll give them Notre Dame. The UCLA stinks.
You went through their whole schedule, Keith. What was it? They actually have a pretty impressive schedule.
It was 3 big wins: Notre Dame, UCLA, and
that's 3 bigger wins than Ohio State has.
No, Michigan.
Michigan is not a good team, Dave.
But you can't look. I know it's this, that. Michigan beats Northwestern by 100, and Northwestern beats Stanford. The 2-loss, 1-loss thing you cannot overcome.
The problem they have...
And wait a minute, you're saying they go over North Carolina?
People are saying that they could, yeah.
Because they played 2 FCS teams, and the committee has been really adamant about hating that.
Is that what you guys think should happen?
No, all right. So the problem with the committee has right now is they're going to contradict themselves if they send Ohio State over UNC, because last year they sent Ohio State specifically because the conference championship mattered. That's what they said. If you win your conference championship, you should go. So if UNC beats Clemson, and then Ohio State gets in over them, you're basically saying that last year was a joke or this year's a joke. The precedent's fucked. So if UNC and Stanford both win, I think they'd rather have. I think they'd send Stanford over UNC.
That would be. I don't know. I'm not saying they won't do that, I have a major problem if a 2-loss Stanford team
But
goes
Dave, they
over
played-
a 1-loss North Carolina.
But Dave, the problem is Stanford lost to Northwestern week 1, right? UNC played 2 FCS teams. So if Stanford had played 2 FCS teams, they wouldn't have 2 losses. So there's your argument.
No, that's not necessarily true. I mean, North Carolina's first loss was the first game of the season. They lost to
South Carolina, who lost to the Citadel.
Right. No, that's
the worst
fine.
loss of
But
any of the losses.
that's fine. But it's 1 loss versus 2 loss. I don't care. You beat Clemson in your the number 1 team in the country. You beat in a playoff game. You go. That's how I look at it.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That
Yes.
if Stanford had scheduled FCS teams, they didn't have any FCS teams. If they had scheduled an FCS team instead of Northwestern, they would only have 1 loss.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that North Carolina shouldn't have scheduled South Carolina.
No, you're missing what I'm saying here. Keith, do you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Don't
No,
talk
you
to me like a
don't.
child. I understand. You're
you
saying because I don't care. Northwestern, you still schedule them. It's he said, she said. North Carolina has 1 loss. The other
But
team
they
has 2.
scheduled 2. Like, you can't.
I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with it.
If you come out and you put the best schedule on there and you have 2 losses, and then you come out and you put a schedule with 2 teams that don't even play in your same league, I would take the 2 losses and the best schedule out there.
I would say this: North Carolina will have by far the best win and less losses. That's what I'm banking on.
I agree with you. Personally, I think North Carolina, if they beat Clemson, should be in. But from what the committee has said, in reality, Stanford will go over them if they win the conference championship.
I
disagree with that. What do you think?
Top 25.
What do you think, Dan? Who would, if you were the committee, who would you send?
Well, first of all, I'd have to see what happens on Saturday, because I said this: if UNC comes out and blows the doors off Clemson, then I'm going to take.
Let's
UNC.
assume they're all close games. Stanford wins, Clemson wins. I mean, North Carolina.
UNC wins. I take Stanford.
Oh, see.
And the sneaky one is I would take Ohio State over UNC too, but that's purely ratings, because I can't imagine a worse rated game than a New Year's Eve UNC versus Alabama, and Alabama goes up 2 scores early. No one will watch that game.
Yeah, I mean, everything's fucked up. I think Ohio State's the best team is the eye test, but you should have to win your conference. So
Right. They're in a pickle. The committee is praying that Clemson wins.
Yeah, and I'd like to see UNC just because of Daddy Dixie, but we'll see. All right, that's
so your bias is coming in now.
No, I would pick them. If they win, I would pick them. I think you have to win the conference, and I don't even think Stanford's a discussion. I know I understood your point. I think those of low brain capacity and intelligence would pick Stanford, and those of higher intellect would pick UNC. That's not a dig at you.
You still don't understand my argument.
No, see, I do.
You don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
Is there anything?
Get up, Dave. This is a get up, Dave moment where you're.
No, it's not get up.
stubbornness.
Let me tell you, I don't even this get up, Dave thing. I didn't even pick up on, and you turned into a lunatic. I almost called you last night while you were tweeting me like you got hacked, dude. Like somebody got control of your Twitter account.
This is like a dog barking at itself in the mirror. I was trolling you, pretending to be you, and you see it, and you're like, holy shit, big cat.
No, I got that part, but I didn't get when I was having like side conversations. You just came in and be like, Rudy was off sides. Like, how's that trolling me?
Oh my God. You can't even see it. You can't even see it.
I asked Feidelberg. Feidelberg thought you got hacked too.
No, Scott Zolak was just asking weird questions. That guy's a little off the reservation.
A little off that whole conversation. You three, I almost blocked all 3 of you because it was like I can't tell what's going on. My feed is clogged. Either Dan got hacked or he's like drunk or something weird has happened, and I'm just going to pretend it's not going on. I mean, I hope you had fun. I hope you were giggling. I didn't understand it. Did you see this transpire, K. Marco?
Yeah, it was hilarious. He was being you.
He was being you.
How was he being me?
Thankful for all his fans.
But he wasn't being thankful
This
to
is
the
so
fans.
perfect. I love it. I love that you can't even see yourself. When I dress up as you, I'm like when, you know what it is? It's like The Office when Jim dresses up like Dwight and he doesn't figure it out. He's like staring right at him. Like, dude, I'm you. I was you last night.
I didn't see it.
Well, shout out to all the Stoolies. I don't do it for myself. I do it for them.
Go, Dan, go.
Go, Dan, go.
I mean,
Get up.
get that.
Get up.
That's my thing. Go Prez go is my thing. That's the rundown.
Go Big Cat Go started a trend last night.
Are we done?
Yeah, I like to just watch Dave angrily do something at the end. Something happens.